Uh, Politics has been part of my life. I started actively participating or engaging in politics in the year 2005 when there was a banana orange referendum in Kenya. That is the year I started actively engaging in politics, even in discussions, attending political rallies, engaging in political debates. And my first political party to join as a member was ODM. I have been a member of ODM for all those years, up to now, up to very recently when I left ODM, and now I remain partyless until further notice. In 2017, I contested for the Kibera parliamentary seat, where I emerged the third. We were around 7 candidates. The late Ken Okoth won the seat, followed by a Jubilee candidate, then myself, Kibera constituency 2017. And right now, no, back in 2022 I didn't contest. I wanted to contest again for the Kibera parliamentary seat, but I couldn't, because just as we were nearing 2022 election, I lost my wife, so it interrupted me. I couldn't actively participate in the politics in that situation. So I had to skip the 2022 election. I didn't contest. But I'm preparing to make a move again in 2022 in the Kibera parliamentary seat as a candidate. And in my political life, I have always been on the opposition side. So my politics has been more of activism, keeping the government in check, pointing out the missteps of various governments, including Kibaki's government, Uhuru's government, and now Ruto's government. Because I grew up in that situation where my father was a primary school teacher, and at one time during Moi's era, my father almost lost his job as a teacher because he was supporting the opposition in 1992. He was really supporting Michael Kijana Omano, and he was supporting Ford then. So he almost lost his job. And before that, in the 80s there, as a young boy, I saw a chief and some Kanu youth wingers manhandling my father. Because during that time, there was these harambes that Moi used to do. So whenever Moi was coming to do a harambe somewhere, every family was forced to contribute 20 shillings. And if you do not contribute that 20 shillings, the Kanu youth wingers could come in your compound, in your home, and take whatever they could take. Maybe a chicken, or anything that they could lay their hands on. So at one time they came to our home because my father refused to give out the 20 shillings. So they came and they took a hand. So there was a scuffle between them and my father, and that is how I came to grow up hating the government because of such injustices and other injustices that were committed by previous regimes. So I'm very much in politics. Mine is more of political activism, keeping the government in check, pointing out the mistakes of governments, not only this government but even the previous ones, speaking against injustices, and I have that desire of being a member of parliament, so that I can use that position or that platform to push policies that are pro-people, policies that are pro-people. And if I get that chance, I will push through several bills that are in favor of the people, so that we can have our people economically empowered, and we can have our economy working for everyone. I've heard former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga suggesting that we must have what we call an intergenerational conclave dialogue. Yes, an intergenerational conclave dialogue, so that we can come out of the situation that we are in right now. But most Kenyans have disagreed with Raila, and most Kenyans have opposed that idea of dialogue. And I personally am opposed to the idea of dialogue. Why I'm opposed to the idea of dialogue is because that for several years, for many years in this country, we have had dialogues that have led to nothing. Dialogues in this country have been used as an avenue of seeking temporary calming the country temporarily, and then pushing our issues under the carpet or postponing our issues. That is why I'm opposed to dialogue. All the dialogues we have had, the end result has always been people sharing positions. All those dialogues have never addressed our problems in healthcare. They have never addressed our problems in unemployment. They have never addressed our problems in education, in agriculture. All those dialogues have, for all those years, have just been about sharing positions. The political allies sharing positions. After sharing the positions, they postpone the issues that affect the people. Then we go into another cycle of demonstration, then dialogue, then sharing positions, then another cycle of demonstrations. So Kenyans, we want to have a break from that. We want to have a break from that. I don't think that dialogue can solve our problems. And let me say, Raila Amolo Odinga suggested an intergenerational conclave dialogue. And my question is, are we having an intergenerational conflict in Kenya that requires us to have an intergenerational dialogue? Is the Gen Z fighting a generation? Is there a generational conflict in Kenya? Is there a generational war, so that we can come and discuss as generations, so that we can have a dialogue and a handshake? I think what is happening in Kenya right now is not a generational conflict. Even the generation called Gen Z are not fighting a generation. Our problem in Kenya is bad governance, corruption, extrajudicial killing, incompetence. Those are the issues we are fighting. And those issues have nothing to do with a generation. Those issues have nothing to do with a tribe. So I think this dialogue idea is a diversionary tactic, so that we can also evade the issues. But this is the time we must confront these issues head on and solve them. We don't need to go into a dialogue to evade these issues again. In fact, I dare say we don't need any dialogue in Kenya at all. Why we don't need a dialogue in Kenya is because Constitution 2010 addresses all our problems. Constitution 2010 has got the answers or the solutions to all our problems. If we want to address corruption, you will go to chapter 6 of our constitution. Chapter 6 of our constitution has never been implemented in this country. If you want to address unemployment, you will find an article in our constitution that guides you on how to address unemployment. If it is matters agriculture, there is an article in our constitution that handles agriculture. So I think this issue of dialogue, we don't need it. We want the full implementation of Constitution 2010 in letter and spirit. Because our constitution, since promulgation, has been implemented in small bits, in tokens. Our constitution has not been fully implemented. So what we want to see is full implementation of Constitution 2010. If we implement Constitution 2010, we shall address 90% of our problems. We shall address 90% of our problems. And if there is anything extra that is required beyond our constitution, if there is something extra that is required beyond our constitution, at State House, on the shelves in State House, we have the TGRC report, we have the Ndungu report, we have the Krigler report, we have the Akiwimi report, we have even the devil worship report. All those reports are there. If we require something beyond our constitution, we must not go into a dialogue and come up with another report which will go on the shelves at State House and gather dust. Dialogue is a waste of resources, a waste of time, and a waste of money. Let us implement Constitution 2010. That is the only thing we need for now. You don't need to do dialogue to address extrajudicial killing. Ruto does not need to sit down with anyone to negotiate how to finish extrajudicial killing. If Ruto decides to finish extrajudicial killing today as head of state, he will do it without dialogue. If Ruto decides to finish corruption today, he will do it without dialogue. If Ruto decides to address the problems of unemployment and other problems today, he will do it without dialogue. So we don't want this circus of dialogues. Kenyans are tired of dialogues. Kenyans want to see action. Thank you.